All right, so here is one of our first, it's kind of an initial Zoom training for business builders to go over some basics. We're going to go over some product recommendation. We're going to go over how to troubleshoot. We're going to go over basic recruitment tips, what your roles are as you grow in this business, and how to train people underneath you to help them achieve their goals, and how to push really strong at the end of the month. So if I look down, I've got like a whole bunch of notes here that I want to go over. So we'll go ahead and get started. Okay, so first, products. I've gotten a lot of questions from people about how I typically recommend products. Me personally, over 3.5 years, I have noticed that the triplex is where I typically always start, okay? When I first started, we didn't even have triplex. It was just Slim, Probio 5, and BioCleanse. There wasn't a combination, but that has grown so popular and has proven to have such great results that the triplex is honestly where I start for just about everyone. I don't know of a person that I haven't necessarily started on the triplex, to be honest. Why do I do that? Triplex is going to help with your basic bodily functions, right? Your blood sugar, your gut health, and your inflammation. Those 3 things are going to be the key to pretty much everything in your body. So how do I start? Typically, I start with triplex. I always like to recommend X Factor in there as well. That's called the Fab 4. Okay, the Fab 4 is the triplex 3 products plus the X Factor. If you ever hear me say that or hear someone else say that, that's what that is. If they are really tight on funds, I might just start them on triplex, okay? But if they can spare another 25, 30 bucks for that X Factor, it's highly beneficial. Why add that X Factor in there? Because it helps your body absorb the nutrients that you're putting in it by 300% more effectively, okay? So the Slim, the Probio 5, the BioCleanse, all of that's getting absorbed 300% more effectively when you add in that X Factor. Plus, pretty much everybody's taking a multivitamin, right? Or they should be. Why not go ahead and group it in with Plexus and know that it's of higher quality and great ingredients, right? So a few key things I want to highlight on X Factor that some people may not know. X Factor, obviously, it's your basic multivitamin, okay? It's got your basic complexes of your vitamins and minerals there. But what sets it apart? What makes this so much better? One is the aloe, okay? It's got a proprietary blend of aloe that helps your body absorb nutrients up to 300% more effectively, okay? That is going to be huge. A lot of people take vitamins, take supplements, and their body isn't able to absorb them, so they're literally peeing them out. They're peeing money because they're not absorbing that vitamin, okay? So if you ever see someone, they're like, oh yeah, you know, my pee is really bright green or really bright yellow or really, 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 really stinky, that can be an indicator that they're not absorbing the vitamins that they need. That's all going straight through them, okay? It's also, if it's really dark yellow, we all know you need to up your water, right? That's what that is there. But that X Factor is going to help that, okay? So that's X Factor I love for that reason. The second reason I love X Factor is the methylated folate, okay? So oftentimes you're going to see folic acid and folate. Okay, what sets us apart there? Folic acid is the lab-created or synthetic version of folate. What our bodies do is takes that folic acid and has to, for lack of medical terms, has to kind of digest it and transform it into folate, okay? Why do most products have folic acid? It's cheaper, okay? Most products have folic acid because it's less expensive for the company. But here's the problem when you take folic acid. 40 to 60% of us have a gene mutation called MTHFR, okay? It's an acronym for special words that I'm not even going to try to pronounce, but MTHFR is this gene mutation. You have to get tested for it, but 40 to 60% of us have this, okay? I encourage you guys to Google this. It's really quite interesting. But what does that cause? It means that if a person takes folic acid, their body is incapable of transforming it into folate. Therefore, that folic acid, that lab synthetic created folic acid, becomes toxic to their body, and they're not able to absorb nutrients that they need in any supplement. Okay, so that folate, that methylated folate, the natural occurring methylated folate, when we take that, our bodies don't have to take that extra step of absorbing it. It's already done for us. Okay, because it's the better quality ingredient. So that's huge. And then third is the New Zealand black currant. It's the highest rated antioxidant on the antioxidant chart. Okay, so you combine all that together, you've got a really kick butt multivitamin, right? So that's why I love that X factor. But Triplex, it's gonna talk about those three things that I had mentioned, right? Your gut health, your inflammation, and your blood sugars. So what I like to do is I typically either start them on Triplex or X Factor. If they're on a budget, I do Triplex for at least 1 to 2 months. A lot of times you're going to notice that if somebody's truly taking their Triplex and truly taking in their water, they may find that they get the weight loss results that they want. They may find that they get the craving, the sweets craving and the appetite results that they want, okay? So that's why I just start with Triplex. Now, if into 60 days, 90 days, their second and third month, they're not seeing those weight loss results that they want, and we've troubleshot with their Probio 5 and BioCleanse, which I'm gonna talk about. If they're still struggling with that, that's when I recommend Accelerator Plus, okay, into their second or third month. Okay, I don't start it right off the bat because sometimes you don't need it. Make sense? Sometimes you're going to find those results that you already want with Triplex alone. Okay, so that's kind of my routine of how I recommend those products. Okay, any questions so far? Raise your hand if you've got questions. Okay, good deal. So that's how I recommend those. Now, how do I troubleshoot? One of the key things that we have to understand is how to help our customers take the products the best way that fits their bodies. No two physical bodies are going to react the same, and we all start Plexus at different health points. We're all at different health levels when we begin this journey. So our journey is going to look different. Our first 30 days, my first 30 days is going to look totally different than, say, Megan's first 30 days because our bodies are different, right? I also react differently than she might to some supplements, okay? So we have to be mindful, and that's why following up with your current ambassadors and your current customers is key, because no black and white product recommendation of how you take products is going to fit everybody. It's not a one size fit all, okay? So how do we troubleshoot? All right, so write this down. This is my baseline, right? My baseline of how I tell people to start Triplex. 1 slim, sometime between breakfast and lunch. It's flexible, just take the drink. If you forget by lunchtime, drink it anyway. It's not gonna hurt you. There are some times that I drink slim at dinner time because my day has gone so fast and I've forgotten. Okay, there are sometimes I drink it twice because I've forgotten that I drank it in the morning because my day is so busy, right? So just get the drink in, okay? It's not super particular on when. Ideally, it's breakfast between lunch. Most people prefer it in the morning. 8 to 12 ounces of water. Don't nurse the drink all day long. Drink it, get it in your body, okay? Second thing is BioCleanse. Okay, guys, I want you to understand the main function for BioCleanse. BioCleanse's main goal is to help someone go to the bathroom 2 to 3 times a day. Okay, I'm going to mute everybody here. We've got some... There we go. Continue. Got some back noise. That is the goal for BioCleanse, right? 2 to 3 bowel movements a day at healthy levels, healthy consistencies. Not super hard, not super runny. That's the goal, okay? So keep that in mind. Now, how do we achieve that goal? Sometimes people need more BioCleanse. Some people need less BioCleanse. So that's why we start slow with BioCleanse, because we don't know how a person's going to react. They may be super sensitive and they may only need 1 BioCleanse and they're set, okay? So we start with 1 BioCleanse in the morning, okay? We see how their first day goes. If they're still not going to the bathroom enough, we up it to 2 BioCleanse in the morning. There's a pattern here, so follow what I'm doing here. We up it to 2 BioCleanse in the morning. If they're still struggling with not going to the bathroom 2 to 3 times at healthy levels, healthy consistencies, we add 1 in the afternoon. So we go 1, 2 morning, 1 in the afternoon if not enough. If still not enough, we add 2 in the afternoon. So 1, 2 in the morning, 1, 2 in the afternoon. You see how I'm spacing that out to kind of see what gets us to 2 to 3 bowel movements a day. Make sense? Shake your head if that makes sense. Make sense? Okay. Now, worst case scenario, 2 in the morning and 2 at night doesn't get the result of 2 to 3 bowel movements a day. What do? We add 1 more in the morning, so we make it 3. If that doesn't work, we go 3 and 3. That's your max dosage. 3 in the morning, 3 at night. For me, I struggled with chronic constipation before a plexus. So hello, we're going to talk about poop a little bit here and get personal. But I struggled with that. Now, what I had to do is I had to take 3 and 3. Okay, that was what I had to take. But it helped me. Now, I've been 3 years in, and I would say into my second year, probably a year and a half, I was able to back off, and now I just take 2 in the morning and 1 at night, and I'm good. So my body's becoming more regular and more attuned to those nutrients, and I don't need as much. So it's all about listening to your body. I'm going to say that a lot. When you're troubleshooting products, you've got to listen to your body. What's the goal with BioCleanse? 2 to 3 bowel movements a day, okay? If you're not achieving that, up your dosage. If you're achieving it and it's getting a little runny, back it down, okay? Back it down by 1 or 2. Make sense so far? Yeah. Okay, so let's talk about ProBio 5. ProBio 5 is one of our most amazing products, but it is one of the most fickle products when you first begin because it has the ability to break down the exoskeleton of yeast or candida yeast that's in your gut, okay? The lovely ingredients chitosanase is in our probiotic, and that is the only ingredient that can break down that exoskeleton. Kind of like a cockroach has an exoskeleton. The yeast in our gut has that too. That's why it's so hard to get rid of, okay? And that exoskeleton of that yeast that's in our gut, when it backs up to the side of your colon, it perforates those colon walls and creates holes. And so that bacteria, that poop that's in your colon is now seeping through holes of your colon into your body. That's what's causing all the issues in your body. The anxiety, the depression, the acne, the sugar cravings, the belly fat, the hormone issues, the autoimmune issues, the fibromyalgia, all of that is caused by what's called leaky gut syndrome. Google it. Leaky gut syndrome. That is what yeast is doing. That's why our ProBio 5 is incredible because it gets rid of that yeast and it repairs your colon lining. So it fixes those holes. Talk about a repair system, right? But here's the key. Your yeast loves being in your body. And when it feels like it's being removed, it's going to fight back. Okay? So we have to go very slow with that ProBio 5 because if not, people can have flu-like symptoms. Okay, that's called die-off symptoms of that yeast. So I always say to start with 2 ProBio 5 for 1 to 2 weeks. And I'm constantly checking in. Hey, how you feeling? What's going on? You feeling good? Great. Okay. If they're kind of like, I'm feeling a little icky, I might say, hey, let's stick with 2 ProBio 5 for another week. Or if they're feeling really icky, I might back them down to 1. Okay. But if they're feeling good after 1 to 2 weeks at 2 ProBio 5, I move up to 3. 3 ProBio 5 for a good week. And within that week, if they're still feeling good, then I get to the dosage of 4. Now, let me back up. If in that week of them taking 3, they're not feeling good, back it down to 2. Back it back down to 2. Stay there for another 5 to 7 days. Check in with them. You feeling better? You feeling good? Still icky? Let's stick with 2. You feeling better? Okay, let's try to go to 3. Then once they're good at 3 for a good 7 days, that's when we go to 4. Why 4? 4 is the dosage that has the ability to break down that exoskeleton. 2 is the dosage to maintain proper gut health and bacteria ratio in your gut. Okay, makes sense so far? Shake your head, yes? Yeah? Okay, so if anybody ever has certain die-off symptoms, rashes, severe diarrhea, severe fatigue, flu-like symptoms, they're super dizzy, they're shaky, they're just icky feeling, that's when you immediately know to back it back down. We never want to push through and do 4 really fast because that can cause some pretty gnarly side effects. And a few people can handle them, but most of us can't, okay? Most of us can't. I will say on a side note, for me, I have struggled with gut health for pretty much my whole life, and I didn't know it. Anxiety, depression, severe, probably some undiagnosed IBS symptoms for me. Some belly fat issues. I've always wanted sweets. Those are gut issues. For me, I'm going to stick with 4 Probio 5 the rest of my life because that's what I feel best at. My body just has a tendency to overgrow yeast pretty quickly. So I'm going to stay with 4. But some people can move back down to 2 after being at 4 for a while to remove that. But some people need to stick with 4. Now, some people who have even more severe, and I'm talking this is a 1%er, but I like to tell people this. Sorry guys, one sec. I've got like a frog in my throat or something. But a 1% of people can actually take up to 6, okay? 6 is not going to hurt you, okay? 6, if you're struggling really bad with gut issues, or even migraines, because that's gut related, you'd be surprised at what all is gut related, you can take up to 6, okay? If you're on an antibiotic, you want to take 6. An antibiotic reverses what you're doing with a probiotic, okay? So there are times where we're flexible with that Probio 5. Does that make sense to everybody? Okay, so when I say we need to listen to our bodies and listen to our ambassadors and customers' bodies, those are the signs that I'm talking about. Are they feeling icky? Are their headaches back? Are they craving sweets? Are they feeling like they've got the flu? We've got some work to do on our end to recommend different dosages for their products. Okay, and over time, there is no wrong way to take triplex. There is no right way to take triplex, guys, because it is different for every single body. For me, a little side story, I was taking triplex, I think it was 7 months or so, and I started feeling kind of like I was plateauing, and I just wasn't feeling as great, and so I had to change up what I was doing. I added in a second slim for me for 2 weeks to kind of give my body a jolt. I took my my BioCleanse later in the day rather than in the earlier afternoon. It's kind of like if you do the same workout routine every single day, your body's going to grow accustomed to it. Same thing with Plexus products. Sometimes we have to keep our bodies guessing a little bit. So if you find yourself or any of your customers later down the road kind of stuck, I know most of us here are pretty new, so you're not going to be there yet, but in a couple of months, if you find people or yourself kind of stuck, come find me. I can give you some other recommendations of how to just tweak it a little bit, but just keep your body guessing a little bit. Does that make sense so far too? Okay, so any questions on troubleshooting our products?
Yes.
Yes, okay, who's speaking?
It's Betty Tapella.
Hi, Betty. Yes, how can I help you?
I don't know where my picture is, but oh well. Okay, so the probiotic, I hear all that we've got to be careful and go carefully up to 4. Mm-hmm. But no, I've had the same experience, but I have someone else that's in week 4. They're only at 2 probiotics at night and still very loose stools.
So that is also a sign of yeast leaving the body. Okay, so it's still a good sign in some regards. My question would be, how many BioCleanse are they taking? Do you know that?
4. Yeah, 2, and 2.
Okay, back down on that. Maybe do 2 and 1, or just 2 in the morning, and see if that helps a little bit.
Okay, but then stick with 2 probio.
Yes.
Okay, so before you increase to 4, you want to get over that loose stools.
The loose stools is probably more likely because they're taking too much BioCleanse, because that has a direct relation to bowel movements. And loose stools with Probio 5 is probably just going to be for a week or so when you're finally releasing a lot of your yeast. But if she's still struggling with that, I'd back down on that BioCleanse and keep her at 2. If over 3 to 5 to 7 days she notices that her stools are kind of getting more consistently solid, then I might increase up to 3 Probio 5 because she's found a solid dosage of BioCleanse for her.
Okay.
And then if she goes to 3 Probio 5, but she's still at that dosage of BioCleanse where she knew that they were pretty solid at the time, and it goes back to runny, back down back back down to 2 ProBio 5 for a little while to see how she does. So it's a lot of kind of like give and take with your body.
Well, do we ever want to be sure that they're at 4 BioCleanse?
No.
No. Okay.
There's no reason for someone to be at a certain dosage of BioCleanse. The main goal is 2 to 3 healthy, consistent bowel movements a day. If that takes 1 BioCleanse, great. If that takes 2, great. If it takes 6, great.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Great questions. Anybody else with questions on that? Okay, so now I'm going to move into the business side and recruitment side. So I want to talk a little bit about cold messaging, okay? So when we are reaching out to friends, I want you guys to be cognizant of how you're reaching out to friends, what it is exactly that you are saying. A lot of times we lead with just the products because maybe leading with the business is a little intimidating, or we don't want to hear a no too quickly. And sometimes in our own minds, we think that people will be more quick to say no to the business than the products, and we're tricking ourselves out. So sometimes I want you guys to go back to your cold messages, and I want you guys to take a look at exactly what message that you're sending in the subtext. Okay, are you really just talking about products? Are you barely mentioning? You're talking about products, but then you go into business, but then you give that quick runaway, that out for business if they don't want it, right? So you're basically telling them, oh yeah, the business is great, but you don't have to do it if you don't want to. Okay, the products are great. You see what I'm saying? So I just gave them an out for ever considering the business, right? So what are you really saying in your cold messages? If all you're doing is leading with the products, all you're ever going to get are customers and wholesale ambassadors, right? If all I'm talking about are the products, that's all I'm going to attract, right? I might be lucky for someone to reach out to me and go, okay, I want to do what you're doing. I might be lucky for one of my wholesale ambassadors to catch the vision on our team page, but I've got to be talking about that business, right? Without business builders, you're not going to get where you want to get in this business. You have to have business builders. How do you find business builders? You think of the most badass people, most awesome people, most cool people, the people that you want around, the people that you think are trustworthy, sweet, fun, and you talk to them about the business. You know, I've reached out to many of you guys going, I want y'all on my team for a reason, right? I saw something in you. You know, I can't speak for you, but I can only imagine if somebody were to reach out to me saying, hey, I think you'd be really great at this because I see waves down there. If I got somebody to reach out to me and say, hey, your personality is so fun and you're so trustworthy and I really feel like you could be so successful at this and people just love you. Do you know how great that would make me feel? Right? Some of you have gotten a message from me like that. I hope it made you feel good. I was being very genuine in it. You know, I didn't message you for no reason, right? But when you lead with the business, you give a person an opportunity to consider something that they might not know exists. And when you flatter them, they're more likely to hear you, right? When you lead with the business, you've got to be excited. You have to have this sold out belief that one, you're doing the most awesome thing in the world by sharing Plexus. You have to have this sold out belief that they're going to join you. You have to have this crazy passion and belief in them because they will most likely have some objections to it. But you've got to have this passion, this belief that this is what they should be doing because it's that awesome, right? Almost all of my level ones told me no multiple times, and I had to circle back around. Yep, Jacqueline, you took me 3 years. But you know, it's timing. It's a timing thing, but I didn't give up on you. I always knew that you'd be amazing at this, right? And so we have to have that sold out passion. If you turn down, if you turn away, if you pull back the moment that you have an objection, you won't sign very many people. And you certainly probably won't find a business builder, right? We have to learn to be able to lead with the business. I always say this, I'm leading with the business because it should be pretty obvious that I believe in the products if I'm leading with the business, right? Right? I always say, hey, I see something special in you. I really think that you could do this. It would be so fun to do this together. I could teach you. Don't worry about it. It'd be fun. It's a great way for you to gain back some time with your family or reach certain goals that you have, grow as a person. But I know that you have this in you. You have this ability. And obviously I know you're going to love the products. The products are great. Energy, weight loss if you're looking for it, better gut health. I mean, you name it. Our products are awesome. But girl, I can't stop thinking about you in regards to this business. See how I flirted with both right then? But I am talking about that business with them because I believe in it. Do you see that message? Do you see how I'm really trying to pull on heartstrings? I'm not trying to make a sale. I'm trying to tell someone in their heart of hearts, hey, I believe in you. Do this with me. I am having a blast. You're missing out. Try this with me, right? Do you feel that? Do y'all feel that passion? Now go back to your messages, and can you honestly say that somebody else reading your messages or hearing your voice messages would feel that same passion? Right? Text is hard. A lot of our cold messages are written. Text is hard because all it is words. They're not hearing your passion. They're not hearing your tonal inflections. They're not seeing your body movement, right? 70% of what we say is how we say it, not what we say. So when we send cold messages, it is literally 30% of our message coming across. What do you want that 30% of your message to say? What do you want them to gain from that message? What do you want them to feel from that message? People join you. They don't join Plexus. People join you. They don't buy the products. People join you. They don't need facts. Am I making sense? Am I okay? So that's where we want to go back, guys. I encourage you, go back and look at your messages. If you sent one that was not the most ideal, been there, done that times 300. The first day that I realized I wanted to work this business, I sent out messages to 300 people, and they were the worst message I could have ever sent because I didn't know what I was doing. But you know what? You live and you learn. And I came back to those messages, and I didn't address the previous message. I just went on and I did it a better way, right? So if maybe you've sent out messages and they weren't the greatest, go back and really just be vulnerable. I always tell Tina, she's at my house, she kind of gets double training because she's at my house all day with the girls. And so we talk about Plexus all the time. But I was telling her earlier today, sometimes when we allow ourselves to be vulnerable in front of others, it pulls down that wall, and people are more able to trust us. And so, I can't remember the exact example, Tina, but we were talking about something, and she was like, I want to go back and I want to say it differently. And, address, I know what it was. You had messaged a dream teamer, a business, someone you wanted to work the business with you, but you didn't lead with the business. You led with the products, and you wanted to go back and message that girl. And I said, okay, so you know what? Be vulnerable. If that's you, right? We've all done it before. If you have somebody in mind that you want to go back and lead more strongly with the business, be vulnerable in that and say, hey girl, I know I messaged you about the business, but I have to be honest, I was a little nervous to message you about the business, but I really see something amazing in you. And I can't stop thinking about it because I know that you'd be successful at that. Do you see how I kind of broke down that wall and kind of said, hey, I was a little nervous to say that. It made me more relatable. It made me less, it probably made that person a little less defensive. Did y'all pick up on that? It was just a quick little one-liner, but it made me open up to her so she could open up to me, right? Hey, I know I messaged you about the products, but really, I was nervous to message you about the business. And I've always thought that you'd do great at the business. But for some reason, I was a little nervous at first. But I have to be honest with you, I really keep thinking about you in regards to the business, right? So you see how I'm kind of breaking down that wall. So vulnerability, emotion. We're not selling stuff to make money. We're selling stuff to change lives, health lives, financial lives. Let that emotion come out, okay? Another side project that I want you guys to keep in mind or do if you are not already doing, and if you're already doing it, you need to keep doing it the rest of your Plexus career because it will constantly change, is work on your dream team list. Okay, What is this if you don't know what it is? I want you to just close your eyes for a second and imagine the coolest person that could join your team and that you think, oh my gosh, they would just kill at this business. It would be so great. Okay, do you have somebody in mind, right? You thinking about that one person? What qualities do they have? Describe them. Who are they? Are they well connected? Are they bubbly? Are they fun? Are they drama free? Are they social on social media? Right? Are they someone that you'd want to work with? Right? What qualities do they have? Right? They're extroverted maybe, or maybe they're introverted, or maybe they're really great at product knowledge. And you just think, oh my gosh, they have a nursing background and they just would know everything and they would compliment me so well because I don't really know much about that and I can help them with this and we can, oh, and how fun would that be, right? So you're thinking of these people. Think of these qualities. Write those down. And then I want you to make a list of 50. I'm going to challenge you. And you're going to be so blown away with yourself. You're going to be so proud of yourself because you're actually going to be able to do this. I'm telling you right now, you will be able to do this. I want you to think of 50 people that would be awesome at sharing Plexus. 50. 50. You can do it. Okay? Here's how I know you can do it. Maybe you can't write 50 tonight. But here's an example. This morning, Tina and I went to take Sophia to swim class. And this woman sat next to me. She's very pretty. She's got some kids swimming next to me. And she just kind of sparks up a conversation. Oh, you live around here? Oh, yeah, I live around here. Oh, what does your husband do? Oh, what do we do? So, of course, I start talking about, oh, I've kind of heard about that. Yeah, you know, I used to be in pharmaceuticals with a nursing background, but I haven't been working and I'm kind of bored at home and I'm ready to do something. Do you know my mind's going ding, 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 right? And I'm thinking, oh, she would love Plexus. So I start talking with her, and Tina starts talking to her a little bit. And then I say, before we leave, I say, hey, are you on Facebook? Yeah, let me connect with you. You know, it'd be good to connect with somebody around here. And maybe, you know, if you want more information, I'll send you some, right? So I friended her on Facebook. And before you know it, she messaged me today saying, hey, it was really great meeting you. It's great meeting you too. Now I've got another person that I can add to my Business Builders Dream Team list, right? It will happen, guys. You just have to be watching for it. If you are struggling with making your list of 50, go through your Facebook friends list. I'm serious, go through it. Take some time, go through it, and look at the different people. There are so many people from high school and from college and even from, you know, Chi Omega. I've got some sorority sisters on here that I'm like, oh my gosh, I totally forgot about her, but she would be great, you know? Write those names down. Right? Write those names down. And then you want to actively work that list. If you make that list and you do nothing with it, then you can pat yourself on the back and then toss it in the trash because that's what it's worth. You have to do something with it. Okay? That's what I'm going to talk about now is an N factor. The letter N, factor. Okay. Guys, I don't like saying this, but it is true. This business is truly a numbers game. I don't like saying it because I don't like to put numbers on my friends' heads because they're people to me. This is relationships. But at the bottom line, this is a numbers game. If you are not recruiting what you want to recruit, you are not talking to enough people. Period. Okay, it is a numbers game. So let's say I asked on my round 2 page, my second leg page, I asked these 2 questions and I got some response back, but I asked, how many new people are you talking to each week? Or in the past week, I said, in the past week, how many new people have you spoken to about Plexus, right? And I'm not just talking about sending messages. I'm saying you've talked to about Plexus. The dialogue has begun. They are reciprocating and open to receiving information. That's talking to. If you just send a cold message and they read it and don't respond or never read it, guess what you just did? You sent a flyer. That's not really helpful, right? We want to find those dialogues, right? Cold messages are great because they can start the dialogues, but the dialogue is what we want. That's your number, okay? So I asked 2 questions. How many new people have you spoken to about Plexus in the past week? And 2, how many potentials do you have? And I got some response on that question. And then I got some response in some private messages because they wanted to talk to me about it. But what I found was the people that were talking to more people each week had more potentials, right? So let's say that your goal is to sign, say, 3 people this month, okay? A lot of this is going to be trial and error. For me, because I've been doing this for so long, for me, I know that my in factor is, it's a ratio of how many people you talk to versus how many people are going to respond, okay? How many people you talk to how many people will respond. For me, it's roughly 20-1. Now it changes, guys. It changes here and there. Some months I have to talk to 50 people to get to one person to respond to me. It's their timing. It's seasonal. Sometimes it has to do with the moon. No, I'm just kidding, but it feels like it. There are cycles in this business, right? I can't, it's not a black and white science, right? But if you're struggling and you know, okay, typically I get 20 people I talk to, I get 1 response. If you've messaged 20 and you haven't gotten a response, guess what? Message another 20. Maybe right now in this season with this lunar cycle, again, just joking, but kind of not, maybe it's 40-1, right? It changes. It changes. So you have to be flexible with that. But if you're wanting to sign 3 people, okay, and your in factor is 20-1, how many people would I need to talk to probably? Somebody answer that for me. If I want to sign 3 people and my in factor is typically 20-1, how many people would I roughly need to talk to?
60.
60, right? 20-1 x to 3, right? You multiply the 20 times 3, right? So that's 60. Now, I had said that my in factor is the number of people I talk to versus the number of people that I get a response from, right? That's not the number of yeses I get. So if I talk to 20 and 1 responds at least, I might have to talk to 100 people to get 3 people to sign. Make sense? Some people's in factor might be 5-1. Maybe they're that influential and able to connect. Maybe they're that good at using the feel, felt, found method, which I'm going to go over here in just a second, to overcome those objections. Some people it might be 50-1. I don't know, 2 months ago, there was something in the air and I spoke to about 50 people and I had 5 people join. That's 10-1. I don't know what's going to necessarily happen, but you have to figure that out. If you're stuck, increase your numbers, period. Increase your numbers, work on your emotional relatability. Make sense? Find your in factor for right then and work on it. So when you go and work on your dream team list, you've got to be working that list with intention, right? If I reach out to 1 person a week, what do you think is going to happen? I mean, you'll have a business. It'll be slower. If that's okay for you, great. If that's okay for you, that's great. But I know many of you on this call want to move a little bit faster, right? So 1 person a week is not going to cut it. 2 people a week is not going to cut it. 5 people a week most likely won't cut it. A good standard is 3 new people a day. That's a good standard, right? So take a look. Take a look. Be honest with yourself. Am I doing enough work to actually reach the goals that I have? Right? Because y'all, I will swear by it. It is worth it to make it in this business. The things that I see with my kids, my family, it is worth it. Right? But it's not easy. It takes work. It takes intentional urgency. Urgency. We work on a month-to-month basis, right? You have a month to make something happen from the 1st to the 31st or the 30th or the 28th in February. You've got that much time, right? Then you start over. So have a sense of urgency about your business. If you don't have a sense of urgency about your business, I would ask, why not? Are you comfortable where you are? Do you not think that you can do it? Do you not think that you're worth it? Are you afraid of something? If you knew the products, which you guys do, and if you knew the compensation plan and the way you could change your life, your kids' lives, your family's lives, your friends' lives by helping them get in with this, If you knew those two things and you know both of those, why are you not running as fast as you physically can? It might be a good reason, but for most of the time, I find that it's not. I find that there's something holding you back. There's an excuse. There's a fear, right? Have a sense of urgency. This is worth it. Okay, you're going to learn that as I do Zooms, I get super preachy sometimes. And I get super emotional. Sometimes I cry, but that's just who I am. Okay, so that's that part. I still have some more to talk about. Okay. We mentioned a second ago about feel, felt, found. Who all was able to watch that video that I did about the feel, felt, found method? Okay, raise your hand. There's a couple there. I encourage you guys to watch that if you haven't. I posted it on round 2. I think I posted it on Slim Jims. If not, it's on my YouTube channel for everyone to easily access. But it's the feel, felt, found method. I'm telling you guys, every single objection that you get, whether it is from a potential, whether it's from a current customer, whether it's from a current ambassador, whether it's from an old ambassador, whether it's from somebody who's tried Plexus and maybe wants to try it again, every single objection that you will ever come across can be overcome by the feel, felt, found method. Okay. If you don't know what it is, I'm going to break it down real quick, then I'm going to encourage you to watch that video so I don't waste time here. But let's say that someone says, I want to start Plexus, but I just don't have the time. Or better yet, let's do cost objection. Who all's dealing with cost objections? We all hear cost objections, all of us, me included. If I quit, you guys, every time I heard a cost objection, I'd probably have quit by 2,000 times by now. Not even kidding you. Cost objections happen, but there are ways to overcome them. The easiest way is the feel, felt, found method. So I present Plexus. I send them 3 different ways to buy. I ask, what are your thoughts? And they say, nah, I don't know about that. That's a little, I don't think I can afford that right now, right? Hey, that's totally fine. I totally understand that, right? I'm validating them. I totally get how you feel. I felt the same way. Feel, felt. But what I found was that it's only $3.30 or $3.40 a day, and that it was actually costing me money not to be on Plexus. So I looked at it, and I went through my bank statement, and I went through my grocery receipts, and I highlighted junk food and medications and snack foods and coffees and energy drinks and all those things that I was taking that I probably shouldn't be because of my cravings or my lack of energy or whatnot. A gym membership that I didn't ever use, right? It was a yoga studio that I wasn't ever using because I didn't have energy to do it. And I kept complaining about reasons why I shouldn't go, but I was still paying for it. But I highlighted all of that and I totaled it up. And then I looked at when my husband and I were both taking Triplex. So that's 2 months worth in a single month. So $200. Even with us spending $200 a month, we were saving $350 when we weren't by taking Plexus versus when we were not. Okay? So it was costing us money to not take Plexus because of the changes it made in our lives. Right? So I use that story. I talk about, what do you tend to drink during the day or eat during the day? Do you have snacks? Do you go to Starbucks every day? Do you go to Dunkin' Donuts every day? Like what are some of your vices, right? I talk about that. Diet Cokes. Y'all, I used to drink 7 a day. I got a little bit of shame in that. I used to drink 7 a day, but you know what? I was addicted to them. And now I don't drink diet soda, right? I might have 1 or 2 here and there. I might get on a kick for a little bit, but most of the time I don't. Guess how much money that saved me? Y'all, Cokes add up, right? So when you're able to feel, felt, found that objection, it gets them able to think of it a different way and see it in a different light, right? It might not answer their question perfectly for them, but at least it gets them thinking, right? Or let's say that they pose an objection that you personally haven't dealt with. Hey, I actually I do know how you feel, right? My girlfriend, Tara, felt the same way, but here's what she found out, right? Maybe you know somebody else that dealt with that objection, right? So you can be honest with it, but at least you're providing them a story to show them how they can overcome it. But if you hear an objection, no matter what it is, and you just go, okay, no worries, well, just circle back to me when you have money. Do you think that they're ever going to circle back to you? Probably not. Maybe, but they're going to get busy. They're going to forget the excitement that they had reading about the triplex and how it was going to change their life. And they're going to fall back into normal habits and routine and forget about it, right? So you've got to feel, felt, found. And then once you've done that and they feel a little bit more comfortable and go, oh, that's a good way of looking at it. Or, okay, you then ask them again, okay, are you ready to get started? Or do you have any other questions? If they say no, ask them what's holding them back. Be bold in that. I do it all the time. All right, let's talk about that. What's holding you back? Maybe I can help you a little bit more to figure out if this is a good fit for you, right? I don't want them to feel like I'm pushing it on them, but what's holding you back so that I can help you figure this out better, right? I'm not pushing it on them, but I'm wanting them to figure it out better, right? So and then they might say, oh, well, I'm also just concerned about having time to work the business. Oh, I totally get that. Totally get that. I was in the same boat, but here's what I found out, right? Feel, felt, found using different words. You do that until those objections are resolved. And then finally you're going to ask, okay, girl, let's get you started. You want to do this. Come on. I believe in you. You're going to love it. Finally, they're going to say yes. Or if they want to say, oh, you know what? Let me just follow up with you in 2 weeks. Don't ever let them do that and get off the line, because their lives are going to get busy. We need to have better customer service and follow up with them, right? If they say that, go, okay, great, I can follow up with you in 2 weeks. What day would be better, the 15th or the 16th? Or, okay, great, I'll follow up with you on the 15th in the afternoon. And you put that in your phone and you set an alarm and you make sure you do it, right? Keep the ball in your court to provide better customer service, because we all know how busy lives are. And maybe we wake up with Plexus on the mind, but somebody else doesn't, right? Make sense? Okay. Three-way chats, if you're not utilizing them, use them. They are effective. Okay. Three-way chats. There's a video on that. I know we're getting a little bit late here, and I want to cover a few other things real quick before we get off. But three-way chats work so good. Get on with your sponsor. If you have somebody that's interested in Plexus and you maybe have had a conversation, but it's just kind of going around in circles and circles, get them on a three-way chat with you and your sponsor. Right? Just say, hey, just start the chat. Don't ask for permission. Just start the chat and go, hey, Susie Q, this is my good friend Tara. I've known her since, high school. She's been with Plexus for 3.5 years. I wanted to introduce you to, because she's a little bit more knowledgeable than I am. I just started, or maybe y'all can relate. Maybe you've been in this for a while, and I think you guys can relate. I really wanted you to hear her story. I think she could answer your questions better so that we can find the best products for you. Boom. And your sponsor, if you have a level 1 ambassador, this would be your responsibility. You would step in right then whenever you saw it, whenever you got a chance. Or if you didn't have a chance, just say, hey, I saw this. I'm going to get to this in a little bit, right? If you're busy. We all are busy. You follow up and you say, hey, it's so good to meet you. Yeah, what are your health goals? I'd be happy to recommend some products for you. Right? Start that initial conversation. That's a three-way chat. It works so well. If you're not using them, start. If your upline is busy, find great sideline partners. It doesn't have to be your upline. Find great sideline partners that can be there to help you. And say, hey, this is my really good friend Lisa. She's on my team. She's so awesome. I'd love for you to meet her. I think you'd really get along with her. Right? But third-party validation works really well. Okay? Three-way chats. Something I want to talk about a little bit briefly, I could make a whole hour on this, but is mindset. Okay, so like I said earlier, there are cycles in this business. There are times where it goes fast. There are times where it goes slow. There's sometimes no rhyme or reason to it. It just happens, okay? Some of us are in a slow time right now, while some of us are in a fast time. But those of you that are in a slower time, I've heard you guys say some words that I want you to stop using, right? So Lisa and Megan, who have been around for a while, you know where I'm going right now. But guys, stop saying that you don't have anybody, nobody's interested, that you're stuck, because guess what that's doing? It's making it true. Okay? If you are saying, gosh, nobody wants to join me. I just need one more person. I just don't know what's going on. Guess what? You are putting those thoughts in your head, and when you think it, you act on it. Okay? So if you're stuck, the best thing that I have found to work for me and for several other people is if you are stuck, if you feel like you don't have enough potentials, one, increase the number of people you're talking to, right? Going back to that. But two, positive affirmations. They may seem silly at first, but they work. One of my favorite positive affirmations that I say, and I say this almost daily, I don't care if I'm in fast momentum or slow momentum, I'm saying this to myself daily, is I attract business builders to my team. My team is booming. My teammates are attracting business builders to their team, right? I'm putting that out there. I am breathing life into it. And what is that going to help me do? If all I'm telling myself is that I'm stuck, 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 do you think that I'm going to be very likely to work hard? No. Do you think that I'm going to feel energized when I have to go in and do cold messages? No, I'm going to feel drained. I'm stuck, I'm stuck, I'm stuck. So why am I doing this other cold message? I'm not going to get anything from it, right? But if I'm thinking, gosh, I know people are out there, I'm attracting them, I am more likely to more energetically work towards that goal. Okay, so what are you saying to yourself? Right? Hang on a second. I had a thought. If you guys are not reading this book, you need to read it. If that's backwards for you, it says What to Say When You Talk to Yourself by Shad Helmstetter. Okay? It smells like 1980. It was written in 1980 and it smells like 1980s. It looks like an old book, but guys, I tell you what, it opened up my eyes so big, so big. You guys need to read this book. What are you saying to yourself? What are you saying to yourself? What you say to yourself will truly, as hokey as it may sound, if this is the first time you're hearing it, if you are saying to yourself that you're stuck, you will be stuck. If you are saying to yourself you will be a gold ambassador, you will be. If you are saying to yourself that you are a good influencer, you will be. If you are saying to yourself that you are fearful of this working out, guess what? It's not going to work out. Read this book. Affirmations and positivity are huge, especially if you are in a slower time. Going back to basics, if you are in a slower time right now, but you have a team, guess what your job is right now? To lead your team, right? You got to lead them. You got to show them how to be a silver ambassador. You got to show them how to reach their goals. Guys, this month has been a little bit slower for me as far as personal recruitment goes. That's going to happen. But what would happen, let's just say this, what would happen if I got really frustrated this month and I just was like, oh, I don't have anybody, I'm just stuck, y'all have a good month, I'll check in later. What would happen? Or what would happen if I got stuck and I just left y'all all to do your own thing because I'm just focused on me? What would happen? Right? If you have a team, if you have business builders, it is your job to help them. Not your upline's job, not a sideline's job. It's your job. They joined you for a reason. They know you. So help them, right? Encourage them. Do those three-way chats. Teach them how to go through the Train in 30 with them, right? Talk to them about cold messaging. Encourage them. Pour belief into them. And certainly never, ever, ever let your downline ever see you be negative. Right? If you feel down, guys, there are times where I feel down, but you're never going to know it. Right? It's not that I don't trust you or that I wouldn't love to share and confide in you with it, but I'm not going to put that on your shoulders. Right? I want to be a positive force for you guys. Right? So never let your downline see you get frustrated because they are looking to you to feel inspired. Right? You've got to lead who you have. So I mentioned a little bit on how to train. We're going to go over that real quick. Guys, training is not hard. If you're making it hard, you're making it hard, and it's going to be hard. Training is not difficult. There are 3 things that you do when somebody joins, or 4 things. You welcome them, Slim Jims welcome only. Make them feel loved and inspired and welcomed, right? You tag them in Trained in 30, and you don't just tag them, write a little paragraph explaining to them what it is you're tagging them on. Hey girl, this is a program. You can work it at your own pace. I'm gonna check in with you. I want you to do this. Let me know where you are. I'm gonna hold you accountable. We can go as fast as you want, as slow as you want, but this is where the meat of the training is. I can't wait to get started with you. Train in 30, the welcome video from me and David so that they can get a feel for the culture of our team, right? I didn't make that video so that everybody would see my face. No, I made that video so that they could feel who we are as a team. And 2, for them to kind of know the business opportunity that they're sitting at, right? I talk about the different ranks. I talk about them very briefly, but I talk about them so that people can go, holy moly, I had what opportunity? And to do what? And look, they look like kind of fun people, right? Right? Maybe, right? So I don't know, but let them know who we are as a team. That welcome video. Hey girl, I want you to just kind of meet who started this. This is Tara and David. They're nice people, whatever. Make me look good. No, I'm just kidding. But build up the level of trust on the team and just say, this is who we are. I'm so excited to have you a part of this. Right? So you've got your train in 30, your welcome video, and how to take Plexus and what to expect. Right? The first half of this call was how to take Plexus and how to troubleshoot, because if we don't do that piece, we won't have ambassadors or customers. They have to know how to take their products. They have to have proper expectations. If you are telling everybody they're going to lose 10 pounds and 2 pant sizes in their first 30 days, you are going to struggle with some retention like crazy. You're going to have people joining left and right, but you're going to have people falling off left and right too, right? You have to set them up with proper expectations, telling them how to take the products and how to troubleshoot them, right? So that's what that video is. Have them watch that 10-minute video, but follow up with them. So those are the 4 things: the welcome page, the train in 30, the welcome video, and the how to take Plexus. And then just say, guys, really, I don't need you to read a whole bunch of documents only unless you want to. You really don't have to know everything. Trust me, you won't know everything for a good 5 years. I'm still learning, y'all. I'm still learning. But here's what your friends have to do. Talk about Plexus. That's it. Talk about Plexus. And when you have somebody that's interested, let me know. Let me take that pressure off of you. We'll do a 3-way chat. You can see how I respond. It's super simple. All you have to do is talk about Plexus and find people who are interested. And from there, we'll work on it. We're going to get you to silver. We're going to get you that $175, and then I'll train you as we go, right? It's really so simple. This isn't rocket science. Don't make it hard, right? If you piled onto them and you sent them emails and emails of information and tagged them on 200 things and 500 posts and told them, okay, we got to do this, do you know how overwhelming and how many people would quit right off the bat? Right? Make this fun. Make this easy. When you have a new level 1 ambassador, yes, things will fall on your shoulders a little bit more than they will stay on your shoulders because you're training somebody. You're doing it for them a little bit to ease them into this. And then you teach them and then they're able to run on their own, right? But if you don't make it simple, if you don't make it duplicatable, if you make it complicated, people will join and quit very fast, right? Makes sense? So make the training easy. It doesn't have to be complicated. There doesn't need to be checklists. I've done the checklist in the past. I've learned my lesson, guys. See what I'm saying? You learn as you go. I've done checklists. They're not effective. Make it simple. Training should be simple. Okay? Now, I know we're about 4 minutes over 9, but I'm gonna wrap us up in about 4 minutes here. We started at 8:05. Okay, we're gonna talk about end of the month push. And here's where I'm going to get a little preachy with y'all. I talked about it a little bit. Let me back up. Many of you guys have goals, have big goals right now, right? A lot of you have goals to hit by the end of this month so that you promote. Or maybe you have goals by the end of this month so that you for sure promote by next month, right? What did I say about urgency? You have this window of time, right? Sell out, guys. I think of a mama, this always comes to mind, and I don't know if it's a bad or a good analogy, so don't judge me here, but I think of like a baby being crushed by a car, and that mama is like set on their mind, I'm getting my baby out. I'm getting my baby out, right? That's a life or death situation, right? But that goal, the goal of getting my baby safe, is in that mama's mind. Do you think much is going to stop her from helping that baby? No, right? She's sold out to that goal. She is sold out. She is urgent. She is doing it, right? Now, I know that that's a life or death situation, and there will never be a life or death situation in Plexus. I understand that. Okay, there won't be. But if your goals really mean that much to you, sell out to them. Have a sense of urgency about them. Reflect on your own personal work and what you've been doing to help your team. Could you be doing more? Are you doing enough? Do you believe in it enough? Are your thoughts positive or negative? That's going to be a huge one. If you're not hitting your goals, ask yourself that. Are your thoughts positive or negative? Right? Sell out. Do not accept failure, right? As far as it goes, if you are pushing and you are trying, you're never going to fail, right? Even if you miss a goal, it puts you that much closer to your next goal. But at least you're working on it. The worst thing that I can see, that I have seen happen to people, is they become complacent, right? They get comfortable. Oh, well, my paycheck's pretty nice right now. I'm not complaining. I mean, yes, I would love to hit that next rank, but it'll happen in time. It'll happen. Or, I'm okay. I'm okay with where I am. That right there is fear. There's some fear going on back there. Their fear of failing. Their fear of feeling embarrassed maybe of missing a goal. I don't know. They're comfortable. Guys, get uncomfortable not hitting your goals. I'll never forget the moment where I was hearing and watching all of these other diamonds and hit their main goal of diamond. And I finally said, I'm tired of hearing somebody else's story about diamond. I want my own. I got uncomfortable being comfortable. I got uncomfortable, not seeing my own success. I didn't get jealous of others. That's certainly not what I'm saying. But I got uncomfortable within my own self. And I said, Tara, let's work. Let's go. Right? When you are trying to hit a goal, you should have a sense of urgency, a sense of sold out, a sense of belief that is just palpable. You can touch it. You can feel it. It should be like Play-Doh, right? Can you tell I have toddlers? I've heard the word Play-Doh a couple of times today. It should be like Play-Doh. You can feel it. You can mold it. You can sense it. You can smell it. When you have a goal, it needs to be Play-Doh. It needs to be palpable. You following me? Right? If you have a goal, why aren't you running towards it? Right? Right now, I have a goal of signing 2 more ambassadors by the end of this month. It's been a super slow month for me personally with my personal recruitment, but I am going to do it, guys. I'll figure out a way. I'll message enough people. I'll incentivize if I need to. I'll work on my feel felt founds with them. I'll be bold enough to talk to a stranger sitting next to me today who I've already messaged more about Plexus, and I was a little uncomfortable doing that, but I did it anyway, right? I pushed myself outside of comfort zones because I'm not letting this month pass without me reaching my goal. Where are you guys? Where are y'all? Where's your mindset? How bad do you want it? Right? I'm not saying that you have to be sold out as crazy passionate as I am, but I will say it's fun and it's worth it. And I know many of you have told me that you want it. So back up your words with actions, right? Back up your words with actions. You guys can do it. Okay, I said 4 minutes and I did 5, so I'll wrap it up. Do you guys have any other questions for me so far? We can do these more often. Did you guys like this?
Yes.
Yes? Okay, yes. So we can do these more often. I'll try and figure out maybe a once a month type thing that we can set, and if I want to do more or have time to do more, I'll do that. But what do you have any questions for me, guys? Give me some feedback. Questions? Was this helpful? Anything? Yes, Katie. Oh, let me unmute you here for a second. Okay, yes.
Okay, so I've been working on the feel, felt, found, and I had a friend last night that I was going through that with, and suddenly she got extremely mean and
Okay.
shut me down and like ended our friendship almost
Oh,
over. It
okay.
was very abrupt, and she was kind of like, "How dare you? You don't know where I am physically." It was very. I mean, so my question is, how do you know when to back off? I mean, yes, I'm trying to work on the objections, and I understand and all of that, but when is there a way that you can detect when to quit?
That I wish I could give like a solid black and white answer on that, but really it's going to be case by case.
Okay.
Was this about health?
Yes.
Okay, so health can be a tricky, health is very personal and it's very intimate, right? Especially if someone's struggling with their health, right? And so
Well,
we want to be, oh, go ahead.
she's a dear friend,
Yeah.
and she deals with a lot of anxiety. She was raped several a couple of years ago, and so I don't know if she was just angry. I don't know. It was just I didn't know if I had crossed the line and trying to be uplifting, and she just didn't want to hear it or what. It was just odd.
I'm sure because that is such a rare scenario and so personal, I'm sure she probably got a little defensive because that was her scenario, her case. Um, if somebody ever gets really defensive with me, I may come back and say, give it some space, give it some time, but I may come back and just send a voice message so they can hear me and just say, hey
Yeah.
girl, I really care about you and I hope that what I said didn't come across as defensive or rude. I truly care about you and I truly believe that this could help you. But I'm here for you when you're ready. I know that this is a
I,
personal decision. So
I, I said that, and then she sent back, please save your sales pitch for someone else. And I in no way even tried to sell it. I
yeah,
was just telling her I was taking something that was helping with my anxiety, and I just haven't lost a friend over it, and it just really sucked. And
yeah.
it very much sounded like I'd lost her as a friend over daring to suggest that something could help her with anxiety. So I'm sure you've run
Honestly,
into that.
um, I haven't lost a friend over Plexus, but I have had a couple of people be defensive, but what I've seen is usually it's not Plexus and it wasn't me.
Yeah,
It's
it sounded like it was from somewhere else. It just
something
came out
else. It's
on me.
something
Yeah,
else,
okay.
and they're taking it out on you. I would just keep that door open as a friend, and
Okay.
that would be somebody that I would just. Timing is going to be a good one on that one. I don't think that you said or did anything wrong, because in a feel, felt, found way, you are truly talking from here. You're trying to identify with them. You're trying to share something that could help her anxiety. I don't believe that you did anything wrong. And the only way you could have done something wrong is if you were literally pushing, buy this from me. I want to make a sale,
No, no,
and I don't believe
no,
you did that. So I
no,
believe
certainly
that
not.
her reaction was maybe she had a stressful day. Maybe she had a trigger, a flashback to something.
Yeah.
Maybe she just felt that you were comparing your anxiety to hers, and she feels that her situation is far different than yours, and she has some
Okay.
internal issues that she needs to deal with. But I would just give it some space and always,
Okay.
always, always let your friends know. That's why I love voice messaging. But I also always talk about this. Pull on heartstrings, right? Pull on heartstrings. Let them hear your emotion. Let
Okay.
them know that you're being vulnerable, open, trustworthy, and truly caring about them. Even with the business, if I'm presenting the business to somebody, I want them to know I am presenting this business to them, not because it's going to help my business. Sure, it will, but because I see something in them that could change their lives and I want to help them do that. I'm genuine in that. I really feel that. But I make sure that they sense that too. So, working on that. But I don't think that you did anything wrong, Katie, and I'm sorry that happened to you.
Well, thank you. I just didn't, thank you. That helps hearing it. I felt that way, but I just, it was very hurtful.
Uh,
It's not slowing me down, but it sure hurts.
Most of the time when people are defensive, they just aren't fully educated on what it is that we're trying to bring to the table, right? They don't understand the products. They don't understand our intention. They don't understand the business. If people tend to be defensive, it's usually, and I don't mean this in a rude way, it's usually a lack of knowing, a lack of education. Yeah. That's what I typically find. So, but yeah, any other questions, guys? No? Okay. Well, you guys have an awesome night. It was fun chatting. I hope I didn't waste too much of your time. I'll see y'all soon. Okay.
Thank you.
Bye, guys.
Great. Thank you.